Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K rock and metal channel. Now, for today's video, I'm not telling Andy and Kirk what's coming up. I don't care. They're not going to find out about it at all. They're just going to have to see what happens, and let's see what their facial expressions do. Let's go check out today's video.
I'm the trouble starter, pumpkin instigator. I'm the fear addicted, danger illustrated. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm the bitch you hated, filth infatuated. Pain you tasted, felt intoxicated. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. Self-inflicted mind detonator. I'm the one infected, twisted animator. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Yeah. So there you go. Gene Simmons, and the cover, I'm not going to say this, make sure it's people know this wasn't his song, of I'm the Firestarter by Prodigy.
But it's not I'm the Firestarter, is it? That's not the name.
It's just
of the
Firestarter, but it's...
Yeah, where's that? Where does that option come from? Or was that just an error?
No, it's probably... Do you know what? It's probably that he wanted to rephrase it or rename it, so probably some sort of copyright loophole that he's got. But yeah, it's a Firestarter by Prodigy. Yeah, where do we start, guys? I'm gonna go Andy.
It's terrible. That's what I never know. Well, I don't know if the Prodigy version is, but that was a distorted guitar, wasn't it, or was it electronic? But yeah, that was awful. You know, the intro is so familiar, and it just sounds much better than that on the original track. I mean, that was. Perhaps he got Paul Stanley. Is it Paul Stanley? Did he do it? Is he in Kiss? Perhaps he got to play.
No, he probably did it himself. Probably Gene probably did it. Actually, that'd be far too much hard work for me. Probably got some session musicians do it and paid him with, like, I don't know, coconut shell or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you said it was Gene Simmons. I would not have recognised him as. I didn't recognise him as Gene Simmons. You know, to me, he looked like a young, slimmer Ron Jeremy. But,
maybe that's what he was going for with his
yeah,
Playboy
I mean,
mention look.
yeah, crossed with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cliche after cliche. I mean, that's probably intentional, but that's sort of 3 minutes I'll never get back, wasn't it?
There's no good 3-minute song in there. Actually, there is a good 3-minute song when it was done by the Prodigy, but
exactly, yeah. I've got for nothing further. I mean, that was, you know, there's some songs you don't cover because you're not gonna, excel the original. You're not gonna do it justice. He hasn't put anything different on there.
Yeah,
no, awful. Don't
okay,
like Kiss.
Kirk.
Never liked Kiss. So that's one thing. I don't think even Kiss fans would like this. So
no.
I suppose I should approach it from the mindset of somebody who is a Kiss fan. I'm like you, Andy. I've never really been into Kiss. I know that Alive 2 album is legendary, isn't it? The fact that this band's go-to album is a live album tells you everything, doesn't it? That we don't really use this word on this channel, but obviously that was atrocious, wasn't it? Oh, like you said, where do you start on that? No, first of all, it's very creepy. You wouldn't show that to children because they would have nightmares. He actually looks like Captain Beefheart on this, and clearly he's not gone for that in terms of the image. It just reminded me of the video for Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring, most of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And again, unintentionally, he seems to have ended up looking like Aphex, the guy from Aphex Twin. That's definitely unintentional.
Okay.
Really, really disturbing, actually, that. And it wasn't meant to be. So no. I was laughing my head off. Oh, God. I mean, I think Sepultura covered this song and did well. Obviously a lot better than that, didn't they? I've got so many things to say. I just can't remember anything to say about it because it's so bad. It's so amusing, but I wouldn't want to watch it again either. I don't like poking fun at people, but who was advising him around this time? And perhaps the most poignant thing I can say is, because he is a legend, isn't he, of rock and roll, he was so late to the party. David Bowie was doing this sound in 1998, and it enlisted Trent Reznor to make him have this Prodigy type edge to his music. This is actually Google this to see if it was legitimately Gene Simmons and not one of these mashups, and they've imposed him on. It is one of his songs from a 2004 album. Do I need to say anything more that I had to check if this was authentic?
No, so for me listening to this, I was really surprised. One of the last questions you said was who advised him to do this, is the thing that popped into my head as well. I was like, you're never going to be able to do this justice. What was Gene Simmons's end goal here? What was he trying to achieve with this? Because he was never going to win over Prodigy fans. He was never going to win over metalheads. He was always going to look like some creepy old uncle who was going around your niece's pool party and being really like it should have been banned. That's how he came across in that video. The thing is, I watched that and it reminded me of the video for Lick It Off from Kiss from 84, 85. Wasn't far off that. And you're like, dude, seriously, that's 20 years before that video came out. You can't still be pushing out the same cliche nonsense and thinking it's a good idea. The world has moved on. And he still thought maybe he feels that's the rock and roll. He's trying to put across this whole I'm the big rock star rock and roll lifestyle. Now, I actually quite like a lot of Kiss stuff. There are albums I can't fucking stand. I was never a big fan of a lot of the makeup stuff of Kiss. But if you listen to stuff like Hot in the Shade, great album by them. Revenge, when it came out in 1992, was a blinding album. So they had some really good hard rock albums, but they're smattering with a lot of fucking nonsense from it. So I've never been a fan of the reunion stuff, of the big getting back into the stuff. When they stripped it all back and did songs like Forever and stuff like that, and they did obviously God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which was a cover of someone else. So it wasn't one of their songs either. But I don't understand what Gene Simmons, why has he got this sort of, his bass playing's shit. He's a bad bass player. as a whole, and he's not a good singer. So I don't get what this thing is about Gene Simmons. And I know Kiss fans are going to go fucking apeshit about it and go how amazing he is. But simply just go and watch a lot of the live footage. His vocals are mediocre at best. I don't get why he did this video. I don't understand his end goal in it. He's been either... And do you know what? I don't even think he was advised. I think he made that decision. Because anyone that was going to give you advice would have told him to not fucking do it. And he did it. So, yeah, not a fan of it. I'm sure there'll be some fans of it who'll give us some hate, but you know what? Fuck off.
I imagine they won't be Kiss fans. I cannot envisage any Kiss fan enjoying that.
No, I would love to. Actually, if you enjoyed it, please let us know in the comments down below, because we would love to hear from you.
Kirk, you said about Alive 2 being, you know, Kiss's greatest album and an astounding album that is well known and everything. I've heard that as well. I know of Alive 2, and that came out in the 70s, didn't it?
Yeah.
So their go-to greatest album is a collection of live songs from their early part of the career. What makes it so good, though? Is it the way they perform those early songs? What is so good about it?
Perhaps it's
so
the energy.
Well respected.
I think because people know it was a spectacle, wasn't it? You go to a Kiss show. Obviously, we have to keep saying this now. There was no internet back in 1978.
So there are two things around it I do know about this album. What it is, it's actually a live one was the first one that kind of really kicked them off, because up until then they had a few albums out and no one was interested in the band, and then they did this live album, a live one, and they actually captured their energy that they hadn't been able to capture on record before, and that really took them off. Alive 2 was the big one because everyone had heard Alive 1, so they were waiting for it, and what they got was they actually got one of the best live performance recordings. Now, nowadays, it's just common practice to get a great recording. But back in the day, you couldn't get a band of that nature that you could capture that level of performance. It was always really shitty recordings of a rock band. So suddenly you got this great performance from a over-the-top rock band with lots of spectacle. You heard it coming through. There were lots of theatrics on the stage, lots of banter and stuff. And so you actually felt you were there at the gig. And that's why Alive 2 captured that moment in time. But if you listen to it now as a live recording, you'd just be like, it's a kind of analog live recording. It's
like that Thin Lizzy
moment in time.
Live and Dangerous. That's a legendary live album, isn't it?
Yeah.
You say that captures them at their best as well.
So it's the fact that it's pioneering live concert recording that's been put on disc and retailed as the band's output, not necessarily the fact that it's 15 fantastic, amazing Kiss songs. It's the fact that it's performed well and been recorded well that makes it so good.
That's that, and they've captured the energy of the live show that hadn't been, that you couldn't capture on the album. So that's where it came from. But there you go, Gene Simmons and I'm the Firestarter, or Twat as I call it. Anyway, Gene Simmons and I'm the Firestarter. I'm going to get someone's going to give me like a cease and desist for that one. Good, that might boost views on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.